2 weeks in a row.
It's a new record.
Starting a new trend.
Yeah. We are outside right now, but the sun is setting and we hate shooting in the sunset, but we'll insert a little screenshot here of the temperature today. It was 109 degrees.
Currently it is 6:20 p.m. and it's still 82 degrees.
Yep. So it's warm in Southern California, guys. Where's that fall weather? Well,
yeah, and it's September, so come on fall. Like, I'm dressed in fall colors, so yeah. Come on fall week.
This is going to be another one of our campground reviews. We are reviewing the Snowflower RV Campground Thousand Trails. Thousand
Trails Snowflower RV. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, that's it. And actually, Lynn's going to edit this in a minute, but I had a specific highlight in there. There's a complete name to it because it has some other stuff, but she'll drop that in as soon as we start the footage from the park.
He says that, and then when I'm editing it and he's asleep, I have no idea what he's talking about. We'll see if I drop anything in or not. So anyways, on to the footage that we filmed while we were there. This is the road that you're going to drive to get to the different campsites. I'm actually walking down the road, but you would drive up this road to find the different campsites. As you're driving up the road to the camp spots, you're going to pass the sports courts. We have horseshoes, pickleball, shuffleball, or shuffleboard actually, right here. And you pick up the equipment at the camp office. So here's the pickleball court on this side. And then if you go up these stairs, on the other side of that, there are horseshoes and shuffleboard. And that's the road that you drive up right there. There are a couple of yurts here. This is one. This is a really small one for 2 people right here. There's a larger one right there for 3 to 4 people. The yurts are right next to bathroom and shower house, as well as the pool. Pool right now in August of 2022 is open from 10 to 5 and no jacuzzi. Here are some of the cabins. Looks like there's about 5, 6 right here. Pretty cute. Walking, so I don't have a gimbal. They're nice because they have parking spots next to them. They each come with their own grill, table, looks like. All the things you need for your cabin. There was a bear walking through here yesterday, so if it's bear season, be bear aware. When we checked in, they did tell us that there was a parking lot where a lot of people with the larger rigs park and camp. So this is literally a parking lot. So if you do have a larger rig, you might end up here in this parking lot. This is the entrance to the parking lot. It's on the left-hand side of the road as you're coming up. The pool's on the right-hand side of the road, along with the lodge. It looks like if you're down here in the parking lot, you do get electrical and water just like the other sites, but you're in a parking lot. They did say a lot of families like this better because the kids can ride their bikes and do scooters and all that. And honestly, the view's not bad. Saw this sign on the road. Community campfire, Fridays and Saturdays 6 to 8. So I'm assuming that's probably right here because there's a fire ring right there with lots of makeshift seating around it. So this is probably that. This is the overflow parking. It's in front of the lodge. And it looks like you can actually camp here. At least this guy is anyway, so I'm not sure. The overflow parking lot. This is the lodge right here. They have a very small camp store, very small. This is where you would come to get your shuffleboard, things like that. Right here. There's also a shuffleboard court over here, next to the lodge. There's also horseshoes up here. And I'm going to take you guys around the back of this lodge so you can see what this looks like. This is the back of the lodge. There is cornhole set up. There are also grills out here that you can use. So if you didn't have your own, you could come here and use a grill here. There's some tables, things like that. Ping pong table. That's the back side of the little camp store. Inside, it's closed right now, but inside there's a pool table, places to sit, Connect Four, some of that kind of stuff. This is just outside of the camp store in the back of the lodge. Nice little bridge. Beautiful stream. It's the other side of water. It's really nice. This hiking trail here will get you to the boat dock. But there's another way you can go with your car if you want to go up to the dock. So I'll take you up there in just a second. But this is beautiful. So this is the road you drive up to go to the little dock if you want to take out your canoes. Obviously I'm walking, but you can drive up this road too. This is the top of the hill. This is where I just walked from down there. I'm a little out of breath. You drive up here, you park, bear safe trash cans. You have to get a fishing license and a permit. This is a trail. It's on the map, but it doesn't say how far it is. It says thin ice, so I'm assuming this ice is. And there's the lake. Right there. About 5 o'clock right now. Lake is beautiful. This is the dam right here that we're standing on. But look how beautiful this is. It's so quiet out here. Just love it. There's the dock. Just gorgeous. It does say no fishing off the dock, but I have seen people fish here, so I'm not sure. If you walk down here, there's the little dock. And then that's the dam right there. Here's our spot right here. We have water and power, but no sewer. But we don't have anybody on this side of us, which is kind of nice. Just the bear walked right back up there the other day. This is kind of nice. We don't have anybody on one side of us.
So that's the neighbors. Their water connection is all the way down by the road, and their power pedestal is all the way over here. So in some cases you might be out looking for your power and your water. Alright, so a couple of technical things about this park. No Wi-Fi. AT&T FirstNet, which is what my phone is, meh. Phone calls were great. Data was meh on the 5G. My tablet at some point switched to 4G and it was okay, but even that was just good enough to do stuff on my phone. I had my computer tethered to my tablet just to check speeds, and 5 to 7 megabytes down, 1 to 1.5 megabytes up, so not great. Lynn is on T-Mobile. T-Mobile got great. We were actually able to stream pretty much almost everything we wanted. So we were watching a lot of our favorite YouTube channels, watched the movies, stuff like that. We were able to stream. Prioritization kicked in at some point because we went over our gigabit allotment, and we didn't notice that much of a slowdown. We were on a limited plan. It's an unlimited plan, but everything's limited. We get 100 gigs, I believe it is, on our plan before prioritization kicks in, and we still had no problems, but we burned through all 100 gigabytes while we were here. So anyway, this is the hookup side of our spot. I'll walk you guys over and show you the pedestal here in a second. As we're doing this review, quick question. I've always hooked up my filter right before it goes into the coach, on the end of the hose. I've seen a lot of people here with their filters on the front side of their hose. What's your thoughts on that? If you're using a filter, and if you are, what side of the hose are you using the filter on? Let us know in the comments down below. Just curious. We're packing up for the week that we've been here. It's been a great stay, but we want to show you guys. So this is our picnic table. This is space 13 in the fawn section, so this is lower fawn 13. Just want to show you guys. So that is our neighbor into the back, and here's our neighbor to the side. This is all kind of open space. So pretty much every space, as far as I can tell, has a picnic table and plenty of room. We had our mat out here, had the Blackstone sitting over here, and plenty of space. And as you look up, obviously, trees as high as you can tell. Now, I do have to warn you, things fall from the trees. Those things, pine cones, they fall a lot, and they make loud noises, especially when they fall on the roof of your coach. That sounds really bright. As I walk away from the lake, I wanted to show you guys on this side. I think this is what they were talking about. That totally sounds like a pump house. So I really do think that they're pulling water from the lake. There's some sort of, looks like some filtration over there. But yeah, they're pulling the water from the lake for the faucets. So wherever the dump is, which is out by the front, we'll show you guys that here in a minute, must feed back into the groundwater, back into the lake. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, had a thought while we were here. If you don't know who Todd and Sheila are from Switch It Up, go check them out. They have a really cool YouTube channel. They do a lot of traveling. They've got a cool fifth wheel. But Todd was talking about one day, if you're in the forest and a tree falls, what is the likelihood of a tree falling and hitting you? It's kind of dangerous out here. I thought tree falling, rare. But I did mention a minute ago, pine cone. Pine cones fall 5 or 6 times a day from every tree. That made me a little worried. But then I saw one fall. That scared me. hit the ground extremely hard. That up in my head, but it knocked me clean out. So, I don't know if the Switch It Up folks watch our channel, but Todd, it's not the falling trees that you have to worry about. It's the falling pine cones. That's what's gonna get you. Alright, so as you're coming down the road, the first thing you're gonna run into is the dump and the propane. And then you're gonna run into the country store, which it looks like this is where the check-in and stuff used to be. It's all parking around behind me. They have all the little snacks and ice cream and stuff like that, but this has been relocated over to the lodge. Just past the country store is the laundry room, which I'll show you guys here in a second, and then the entrance down there. And sorry, it's really bright, so. All right, so we hope you guys enjoyed that footage, but we're gonna do our review.
I'm gonna say, in my opinion, based on all the RV parks we've stayed at, and there's a lot we've stayed at we haven't reviewed for our channel, but this is tied with my favorite. This and there's one in Tahoe, I forgot what that one's called, but the Tahoe Thousand Trails, these are my favorite, by far, Thousand Trails parks.
If you add, I don't think we reviewed it or not, I don't remember, but Idlewild, Thousand Trails, those are my top 3 campgrounds so far. So that'd be Snowflower, Tahoe, and Idlewild are my 3 favorites. And well, I mean, I guess all 3 are mountain.
We're mountain people, not beach people.
Definitely.
Okay, so one of the things that makes this RV park a little bit different is they only have about 75 spaces in the regular part of the park. And if you have an oversized rig, you can't fit into 90% of the spots in the regular part of where you would have a campsite. There's a parking lot, which you saw in the video, where that's all it's literally a parking lot, and it's side by side, and that's where the bigger rigs park. We didn't have to do that. We're 30 feet, so we had an awesome spot. We had no neighbors on one side of us. We had neighbors far away from us on the other side. The spots are not lined up. They're in a circle, but they're not really lined up. So you don't end up next to somebody like lined up in most of the spots. And you can choose to, there are a few prime spots where you can open your door and see the lake. And then, or like ours, it was literally a 5-minute walk to the lake.
If that, yeah.
And the whole park is it was beautiful. The check-in was amazing. Everybody that works there is amazing. The one thing I will say that we did not know, there is no sewer.
Yep.
So we did not know that. So when we got there, because we were there for 7 days, the 3rd day we were there, we had to pay $40 for them to come empty our tank for us.
Yeah, they have a honey wagon service that you can schedule. It only comes around twice a week, and I can't remember.
It's Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah, and Monday was no problem. We got in, but we tried to call like the day before to get in for Thursday. And they said, oh yeah, the Thursdays usually book up really fast.
And Thursday was only because our gray tank.
Yeah.
It wasn't, the black tank was fine, it was the gray tank that was full. But we made it work, and it was fine. So we stayed there for a week. We didn't want to leave, at least I didn't want to come home. We did drive 11 hours to get there the first day. On the way home, we stopped halfway and then kind of split it up and came home on Sunday. But the check-in was amazing. Everybody that worked there was so friendly. The lady at check-in, I think her name was Judy, she was hysterical. And she tells you all about the bears, that there are bears there, and not to feed the bears and different things like that. We did see a bear. I watched it as it went through a couple of campgrounds in the middle of the day and went up to someone's cooler. And I was amazed because I've seen this on TV, I've never seen it in person. This bear lifted the lid of the ice chest just like a person would. These people had their ice chest outside during the day, and he opened the ice chest and proceeded to eat an apple, some chips, and then when he found the whole chicken, which I'm assuming was probably supposed to be their dinner that night, he took that and then took off up the hill. He got his fill and took it up the hill, so that was hilarious. But there was one guy that kept trying to get closer and closer and closer to the bear, to take photos of the bear, and I was just thinking, like, yeah, I was closer than I probably should have been too, but this guy was practically wanting to pet this bear.
Well, and the lady did tell us on the way in that people, adults, she called them by a name, I believe that name was City Slickers, said that City Slickers would give their kids hot dogs to go and feed the bear.
Yeah, and what did she say?
A fed bear is a dead bear.
Yeah, and that's so sad.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a big bear. He was not a baby, but he wasn't big, so he wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, he went into a couple people's campsites and they made a bunch of noise, and so he just walked past their campsite, but he wasn't really afraid, which is hilarious.
No, and that's what the lady said. They're at this point, it's unfortunate. They are somewhat used to people. They are somewhat, I don't want to call them domesticated, but they are more people friendly, which is kind of dangerous for them.
For the bears, not for, for people too, if you're going to be dumb. But yeah, that's sad. I don't want to think about that. Yeah. Bears being put to sleep because people are dumb.
Yep.
The lake is gorgeous. You can take your own kayaks and paddle boards. You can swim in the lake. There's a little dock where they rent out. They had like one pedal boat and then two kayaks that you could rent. There were no prices or anybody ever manning that station, so I don't know how you would go about doing that, but I'm sure you could find out at the front. They do have a dump station though, if we didn't say that already. You can disconnect, go dump and come back, which he did one day, and then we had a really good spot. So I sat out in the spot with the dogs so that no one would take our spot while he went to go dump. And some lady got really annoyed, because I was sitting there, but we had our mat out still and stuff, and the black stone and everything.
Yeah.
So I think she was gonna come be a Karen and give me a hard time for saving the spot. But then when she realized, because she got out of her truck and was walking up to me, and I was thinking, oh, here we go. But then I think she realized, because all of our stuff was there, the picnic table had stuff on it, everything, and so I think she realized, okay, you're not just saving it, you're there. So she got back in her truck and left. But I was
literally
just thinking,
left the hoses, all of everything just sitting there, just so that I could pull back in the leveling blocks, everything, just so I can back right back in to the same exact spot and hook up, and we'd be good to go. So I mean,
yeah, I was really worried she was going to start some kind of nonsense, and I just wasn't up for that. But it turned out to be fine. There is a hiking trail that there's one trailhead over by the dock, and you can do a mile hike or a 2.5 mile hike. We didn't do that. We just didn't. But we did walk all around. We walked every single day down to the lake. Scout immediately jumped into the water because he's now a water dog apparently. So he went right into the lake, and then Pixel and Flash look at him like, what the hell are you doing? So that's kind of funny. And yeah, it's an amazing park. If you're thinking of going there, there's no assigned spots. They have, and then the other thing that was interesting is that there are tent spots in the middle of RV spots. So you kind of really have to look, on the map, it doesn't tell you it's a tent spot. This is the map, and on the map, it doesn't say this is a tent spot, this is this is that. They just kind of tell you, if there's a T on the little pedestal, it's a tent spot, and then it'll say small, medium, large. But even those weren't because ours said small, but we had a really big space. And then there was one that said large that was not a big space. So I don't know, you just kind of have to pick your spot. But we literally had, between us and 2 other RVs, there was a tent right in the middle.
Yeah.
So, and the guy got really mad at us in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he came over and knocked on the door because we had the lights on outside, and I didn't
The porch light
Yeah,
was
the porch
on,
light, and I guess I didn't even realize it.
And
so.
we were watching Maverick on TV, so it's kind of loud, and we didn't hear him, so he cop knocked the door. If you know, you know. So we were like, who the hell's knocking on the door at night? And it was this guy wanting us to turn our porch light off because it was bothering him in his tent, I guess. I don't know.
Which is, it's fine, whatever.
The cop knock scared the crap out of me, though. I will say that. Because it's nighttime, and you're like, why is somebody cop knocking my door? What did I do? The lake on the map is called Snowflower Lake, but on Google Maps it's called something else. So I don't know what, I'll put in here what the Google Maps name is, because it's not Snowflower Lake on Google Maps. But it's, peace. It was peaceful, quiet, perfect weather, highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was everything we wanted that week to just relax and just kind of chill. And, you know, we didn't do a lot. We did some work on the RV, which we always do when we're out. But yeah, it was great. And I didn't want to come home.
Yep.
And if you drive, if you were driving up from Southern California, this is in Northern California, and we drove on the 99, because you can go the 5 or the 99, and we picked the 99 because we've been on the 5 a million times. There are parts, like if you need to do a shakedown trip with your RV, take this drive. Start on the 5 in Southern California, switch to the 99, and drive to this location. And anything that's loose, slightly loose, maybe not loose at all in your RV.
You'll find out.
Yeah. Because things that we've driven our RV about 15,000 miles, and things that never moved in all the times we've driven fell, moved. It was crazy. That's how bad the roads are. Thank you, California. I don't know where our tax dollars go, but that's another subject.
Yeah, I'd love to find out if any of you have driven on the road that we're talking about, and you guys know the 99 by Fresno, all that other stuff. If any of you have driven that road and driven to Alaska, everybody always says that the road to Alaska
It was really bad.
is the worst. I would like to know if it's any worse than the 99. So for all of you folks from California that know the 99, that maybe have driven through the Alcan Highway, I believe it's called, drop a comment below, let us know, because
I don't know that it could be worse, and if it is worse, then we obviously will be fine. Because let's see what else we're going to say. There is one private road, so I assume that's permanent spots. We didn't go up there because there are literally signs that say "Do not enter," private road. So we didn't do that. But if you're interested in horror movies, not horror movies, horror movies, HORROR movies. Friday the 13th, right next to where we were, the next lake over is Crystal Lake, and there is a Camp Crystal Lake there. So if you're a fan of 80s horror films, go check out Crystal Lake. We don't have a tow car, otherwise I would have definitely gone there to check it out and see Camp Crystal Lake, but we don't have a tow car, and it's a couple mile walk, so we didn't want to do that with the dogs and everything. So, but if you do, let me know about, or if you've ever been there, let me know about Camp Crystal Lake, because I'm really interested to know if it's spooky or anything like that, or if you saw like Jason in the lake or anything. Let me know.
we're going to wrap this up, but a couple things we want to mention is the lake is stocked with fish. I don't know when they stock it.
I don't know what kind of fish either.
Or what kind of fish. But for $8 a day, you can buy a fishing permit. That money goes towards restocking the lake.
And I don't know if it's catch and release. It doesn't say it on the paperwork, so I don't know if it's catch and release, but I did see people cooking fish.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it, I smelled it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were from there or they brought fish with them, but you have to let us know that.
And we found the rental rates for the kayaks in the paperwork: $10 for a single, $15 for a double. So that's kind of cool. You can rent kayak.
You can take your own, like
and you
said.
can take your own kayak. And then last thing is propane. They do have propane fills. You can do your barbecue tanks all day long, and you can fill your RV cylinder that's attached to your RV or your motorhome, or whatever kind of RV you have. You have to take it over, and they will fill it for you. But you have to call ahead and ask, because they only have like a couple of people that are registered or certified, whatever, to fill those kinds of cylinders. So.
And then just real quick, just based on the paper, they do have a lot of amenities. If you have kids, they did have a playground, they have a pool, they have no jacuzzi, they do have bathrooms, or bathhouses, I guess they're called. And you did too, right? Mm-hmm. We both used the shower, just so we wouldn't fill up our gray tank. We used the showers. Mine was clean. It was, it was a little bit weird because it's not really private. Like literally you're in a big bathroom and there's just a curtain. So that was a little bit weird, and there's no code to the door or anything, so I don't know, but it was during the day, so whatever.
It was a multi-stall thing.
But it was clean.
Yeah.
They do have They are pet friendly. They don't have a dog run of any kind. Your dogs do need to be on leash. There are like poop bag stations around the RV park, but like we always have our own. So make sure you clean up after your pets. Promise this is it. They don't have Wi-Fi.
Yep.
There's no code. There's no, it might work. It's straight up, you're on your own Wi-Fi. We did see quite a few of those. What do you call those?
Starlink dishes.
Yeah, Starlink. I saw one guy who had his rig parked in one of the parking lot spots, and he had his Starlink about 50 feet away from his RV trying to get a signal, and I asked him and he said he wasn't getting a good signal, so I don't know much about Starlink, but I guess that's it for this review of Snowflower, because I called it the wrong thing when I booked it. I was calling it Spoonflower. That's a whole different company. Thousand Trails Snowflower RV Campground, and it's in Emigrant Gap, California. So if you're looking for that, it's worth a stay. It's beautiful. Everyone was nice. Do it.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Absolutely. We're going to go back for sure. Maybe when it's snowing.
No.
And if you do go in California, in the snow, in Northern California, you do need chains on whatever vehicle you have. I know a lot of states don't do that, so people think it's weird that California does, but California does require chains.
Yeah, I think it's actually, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below if you know of any other state, but I think it's only California and Colorado that require it. But if they require it in Utah or any of those other states, let us know in the comments.
We'll find out. We're going to Utah next. So I guess that's it. Thanks for being here, guys. And for those of you who have stayed subscribed through our erratic filming and uploading, thank you so much. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. We hope you're doing wonderful. We hope you have a great Labor Day weekend, and it's not 109 where you are, or you're inside in air conditioning if it is. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy,
and drink plenty of water.